Welcome back. It is the first Tuesday of the month, which is one of the days of the month that we get free assets now on Fab, the new marketplace for Unreal Engine and Sketchfab, etc. etc. So, as always, if you want to get these assets, you need to go to the limited time free or limited time free featured content section, explore now. And then from there, you'll get the assets that are available. And we'll be getting 3 assets and in 2 sections each. So 6 assets in total for December. So this is the first batch. This month, we are getting the engine hall made by Dave Berg. It is an environmental asset that is surrounding what looks like a engine hall, a very machinery heavy space essentially. With some particle effects and such. And then we have Vegetation Volume 1 Forest Automaterial by 6 Sides Studios. So here you can see that we have a sort of material that we are making use of for, I'm assuming it's for mainly the terrain that you're using the Automaterial, but maybe the Automaterial is for the bushes and the vegetation as well. We'll see when we get into it. And then lastly, we have a military mercenary bandit. So these are the 3 assets that were given this time. Let's take a closer look at them. So starting off, here we have the demo scene for the engine hall asset. So as you can see here, we have a walkway here where we can see a bunch of different types of machinery that are grinding away, causing a lot of sparks to fly around and just generally operating. And these all have different colorings and configurations, so you can see that you have a fair amount of variety when it comes to the different machines that you can make use of. If we were to look at the overview map of the different parts that you can make use of, this is what you get. So you can see here we have some small piping, we have some walkways, and some staircases. We also have the different machineries. So you can see that they're pretty large pieces of machinery of different configurations that all have their own different skeletal meshes so that they can have their own animations running around when they are actually operating. In addition to that, we also get some particle effects. In this case, you get some sparks and some steam that are being shown off in the demo level as well. So that's what the engine hall asset is in essence. So here we are inside of the Automaterial demo scene. We get 2 different maps for this asset pack here. We have the overview and the demo scene, which this is. And like I was saying, this actually has an Automaterial for the terrain. In addition to it, you also have some vegetation meshes. You have some trees, you have some rocks, you have some procedural foliage, you have some grass, all here in this one. And then you have some materials connected to those things as well. Inside of the landscape material, we have the different materials that the asset is built around. So the material itself is this one. So here you can see the actual setup of that one. It is not overly complex as it comes to nodes. And it also has a material instance where you can go and manipulate exposed variables to make sure that the landscape material is looking as you want it to. So that is in essence what you're getting in this pack, because if we go to the map pack, you can actually see in the overview there is a very small assortment of items actually in this pack. Next up we have the military mercenary bandit. So this is the character that you actually get. There's just one. It has a few different materials to give it a few different looks, different types of camouflage. That's what you see here. In the background, these are nothing really to pay attention to. It's the basic animations from the mannequin itself. This pack doesn't contain anything when it comes to animations. It just contains the mesh and the materials for it. So the animations here that we can see are all animations from the mannequin, from the base templates in Unreal Engine. So nothing like that at all. So that is in essence what you get in this first section of assets for the month this time in December. So what are my thoughts about this? Well, honestly, I'm disappointed. This, I believe, is something of a trend that we will be seeing moving forward. I can give you an indication of this. If we go to the web page for this, and we go and check the different assets that we have available to us. The engine hull I thought was an okay asset. It has a few particle effects, it has a few different types of machinery, it has a well-composed scene of an engine hull put together, giving us some kind of atmospheric inspiration of what it could possibly look like. This asset in itself is a $25 asset for the personal license. Moving to the Vegetation one, this one is one of $45. So that's a total of $70, and then we go to this character and we end up on $90 total. So all of the assets that we get so far for the first chunk of December is $90. This is, in my opinion, a much lower value than, my opinion, as I understand it and remember it, it is a much lower value proposition than we have been getting in the past. I believe that this is a trend that we will be seeing moving forward. We will be seeing lower quality assets, we will be seeing smaller assets with lower value, and generally we as game developers are likely going to be getting less useful things, because this character, for example, it's just one character. It has a few different materials to give it a few different looks. The usability for this is very low. The character is neither really stylized nor really realistic. It's somewhere in the between, so you would have to have something that's very similar to make use of it. And in this pack you only get one character, right? So not much usefulness there. The positive thing about this is, of course, that this is available for a few different platforms, which is one of the upsides of being on Fab now moving forward. So that's one thing, and this is probably something we're going to be seeing more in the future. We'll be getting assets that are small, less useful, lower quality, but promoted on different platforms, because that's how they incentivize people and giving them more money for their assets on the platform. So this is a bad trend in my opinion, and that's what we're seeing here. The forest or vegetation volume here is, in my opinion, also disappointing. It had very few assets. The material itself didn't look that impressive compared to what I've seen. It had very small demo scene that didn't really show off much, which again lends itself to this idea of we're getting lower quality or lower effort or just smaller assets overall, which is unfortunate. When we take this character over here, for example, we can see that this character is a $20 character and has this visual to it. If we were to go to Fab's starting page itself, it has a featured seller here, Ida Faber. If we go and explore some of the assets this person has made, we can take a look and see what kind of quality we're getting here. And we can see that the quality seemed to be something of a stylized, not quite realistic, so something very similar to what we got in the first character, although you can see the attention to detail and quality on this asset is much, much higher as compared to the asset that we actually got. And I think this is unfortunate. It feels like the free assets of the month, although it's not even free assets of the month anymore, is moving in a bad direction. And I am not entirely hyped about it. Hopefully this is something that will be changing, hopefully fairly soon, because it is sort of a trend that I've been seeing in the past, but it hasn't been as apparent as this specific time. So let's see if we can be positively surprised in the next batch in the second half of December. Anyway, that's going to be all for now. Keep on learning. Take care. A big thank you to all of you who like, comment, subscribe and share my videos, or through other means support this channel. You are what makes this channel grow and become a resource for other people to learn from.